Welcome back everyone to the disrespect slash cheating speedrun, whatever you want to call it. This is the first episode and we will be speedrunning until we get banned, so it can last all the way to 3000 elo, which I highly doubt, but yeah. So let's start with the first game. It was a Vienna Gambit. And the opening looked pretty standard. Our opponent obviously didn't have to kill the knight and let us get our development early. This is all Stockfish recommendation to just keep on putting pressure on the middle. Then we went for the crazy ass reroute of the knight, just so that if they take, we can retake with the knight and we should be all good. Just overprotecting the middle. Then I played queen d1, getting the queen off the line of sight of this queen, and then I put the rook on the line so that if we take, they cannot retake back. And then the knight went back to guard this pawn, but we just take because it's defended twice, and this pawn cannot capture because of the pin again. And so then it just launched an attack, and here he actually untangled, found this move, which removes this pin and counterattacks. Unfortunately, he did not see the hanging knight and thought he had some, I don't know, checkmate ideas, but unfortunately none of those checkmate ideas work, and I was able to convert a game a few moves later. Yeah, this was a really good game. This part I actually played on my own, which I'm not exactly proud of, and here, as we can tell, our opponent flagged and lost on time. It basically starts the same, but our opponent decided to play e3 for some reason, which is already a mistake in the opening, and it kind of got a transposition to some Slav defense. Then our opponent decided to hang a knight for no reason, and this move is a juicy checkmate. It cuts off this king's escape, and it is a double check, so nothing can block, nothing can take. Now obviously this wouldn't be checkmate because it can be blocked, but this is double check, so the king must move and it has no squares to go to. So this was a really nice checkmate as well. I just wanted to show you how computers act when they're facing some bozo, and how slowly they just put pressure and then just blast everything. So we started up with a London, and our opponent immediately went for some sort of fried liver attack on the white pieces. We gave this check, just cutting off the defense. The pawn used to, this move, this square used to be the escape square for the knight if it gets kicked out, but now if we get this, the knight on the rim is dim, as we all know, and so this is basically what happens a few moves later, which is basically it gets kicked out. Now here I do not understand why it just didn't take the free knight and just doubled it pawns. I guess it didn't like some pressure on this file, but I don't know what it didn't like. So here obviously the game went like this. We rerotated the knight, then we put pressure on the flank, then he took the flank, then as a usual 900 player, he hung his pawn, he hung his piece, and then tried desperately to attack. Unfortunately, it did not work so well. Now here I started converting on my own. As you can tell, I was not really playing the most accurate of moves. And here I actually missed a checkmate in 3 moves with this nasty move d5, because the king has only one move, and this is actually checkmate in 1 move. But obviously I missed that because I'm bad, and I just ended up winning his rook and removing the endgame, and eventually ended up checkmating him. So that was a really good game as well. It started with e4, e5, the standard opening, the Ruy Lopez, Now the computer actually liked this variation where if bishop takes, then you actually retake with the knight, and then it went for the fianchetto on the bishop, and then our opponent hung it. Then obviously the computers know that bishop is a little better than the knight. Now here it ended up exploding the middle. Here our opponent ended up castling short side, and it is actually a very bad move because we have all of these pieces, this open file where we'll be able to put the rook in, this move, and we'll just be able to slaughter him on the h file, which is why this was a very bad move, and the evaluation went from -1 to -2.14, I think, immediately after this move. And then the knight, and then this is actually crazy because this idea actually works, but for some reason the computer didn't like that, because here obviously it opens up a discovered attack on this knight, and this knight is also attacked, so it is a fork, and this knight cannot defend each other, so this would just end up winning a knight. But the computer actually went for a big attack and just started launching pawns at a bishop. Here this is actually crazy, it didn't even take, and neither did it push, but it didn't take because here it actually helps black untangle the pieces and somehow survive. And so here he just ended up opening his king, and then our opponent hung a pawn, and this is just a classic checkmate in 2 moves after takes. He moves the rook, and this queen takes. This queen check is deadly because the only 2 moves are here and here, and they are all stopped by queen g2 checkmate.